He won't even brush his teeth with our water.
Now, the only thing
He says it has too much chlorine in
I
it.
know with data centers.
He's used to well water, I guess.
So
If you're used to well water, then I can see that.
the guy who lives in Bob Jones' parents' house.
They didn't need on it.
Really?
They don't leave water filter. They want to drink it.
No, they didn't need it.
That's
We
terrible.
don't serve the air.
Yeah.
I drink it all day.
I mean, if you're born and raised here,
And I'm not, but I
Potentially buy water.
right?
yeah. They flavor theirs though. Every time I taste theirs, it tastes like beer.
No, but they do put in that water.
I had y'all, I had them going.
As soon as you said they flavor there, that's where you're
It's brown.
But they do can water there for disasters.
Oh, absolutely.
gotta
Have you ever, you know, when Dasani first came out, Dasani had a aluminum can of water. Ugh, it's terrible.
Please make sure your microphones are on.
learn something every day, Keith. Don't worry about it, I can take care of it.
Get a little bit over the day. Same thing with the church.
Okay.
Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Cartersville City Council to order. If you'll please stand for our invocation and pledge.
Please join me as we pray. Our dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for this opportunity to come and do the business of Cartersville City. Thank you for those who have done the work to prepare the agenda and all that has been taking place there. And thank you for our city administration. Thank you for our city manager and the work that they do on a daily basis to make this great city run well. Be with us now. Go with us as we make decisions for the city. And it's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just drink the roll, please.
Carrie Hodge, Ward 1. Here. Jay Stepp, Ward 2.
Here.
Carrie Rolfe, Ward 3.
Here.
Calvin Cooley, Ward 4.
Here.
Gary Fox, Ward 5.
Here.
Alyssa Cordell, Ward 6. Here.
Thank you, Julia. First order of business is the approval of our council meeting minutes from February 15th. Council, you've had an opportunity to review these. Now would be the time to make any corrections, if any are needed. If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved unanimously. We'll start with some appointments tonight. Mr. Porter, you have the first one.
Yes, Mayor, this is the reappointment of Howard Smith to Development Authority of Cartersville, and I recommend him for approval.
Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Menino, Planning Commission appointment.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Our Ward 1 Planning Commission appointment has resigned, and with that, Carrie Hodge is nominating Jay Milam to replace and fill the unexpired term of Travis Popham, and staff does recommend approval of this appointment.
If I could just take 1 minute and publicly thank Travis Popham for his years of service. He has been a very integral part of our city planning, and I appreciate everything he has done. And also welcome in Jay Milam. He will do well, and I'm glad to know both of them.
And we hope to have Travis up here and present him with a plaque for his service to the city in upcoming months.
I may refuse to do that. I'm just kidding. All right, any other questions or discussion? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion.
Go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. As Ms. Reed makes her way up, Chair, we have, Council, we have 6 items to add to the agenda tonight. I'll entertain a motion to add those 6 items.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
6 items added. Good evening, Ms. Reed.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight we are requesting the appointment of Rachel Castillo to fill the remainder of the term for Matthew Thomas, who had to step down due to relocating out of the district with his job. And so her term she would be filling would be through 2026.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, please.
All right, so due to the nature of being in the South, the heat, and the events that we have in the plaza, my board asked me to look into the question of a sun shade for the amphitheater area. We returned a few options. They suggested that we bring these to you for your input. If you like it and give us permission to proceed, then we would also be asking for permission to apply for a grant through T-Mobile. It's a Hometown Advantage grant. It is $50,000 with no match for shovel-ready infrastructure projects. And were we not to get that grant, we would just be pursuing funding for this project if approved with, for means outside of the general fund. So we would be just doing a capital fundraising effort for this project. So my board does prefer and recommend the option on the right with CoreCat.
You know, I should have asked you in work session, but have y'all considered something permanent?
That would be
This is only 10 years, right?
for the
10-year life?
for the fabric. So just yes. So
understand
the
that.
installation itself is permanent.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Capital project update.
All right, so in 2021, you guys approved a variety of different projected improvements, so I wanted to come and just give you a quick update of what we have accomplished thus far with no impact to the general fund. That's everything from turf to powder coating benches, and that's been $68,000 worth of value back into the city. This next project that we're looking to do is the installation of a bench swing. This is the product. It would be in black, not in blue. But it is being sponsored by Glenda Mitchell Law Firm, so that would also be at no cost to the city. And there is also an indication of where we'd like to place it. So it would be with its back to Main Street, facing into the green space towards the stage.
Any questions or discussion? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Creation of festival zones.
So this is our annual request for festival zones. Whenever we're having events with alcohol that are not being served inside of a permitted establishment, we do need to create a festival zone. These are the dates with the different events. Most of them are events we have seen historically. The only one that is new would be the concert Under the Bridge on September 21st, and that is by the organizer of Barbecue and Brews, who's worked here since 2017.
So that zone would also be where?
So that would be the red box. So when if you recall, back when we would do the bluegrass festivals, we'd have two stages. One would be set up parallel to the bridge, kind of in front of where Latitude Blue is. Because of the size of the group, they're bringing Guardians of the Jukebox. We thought that it would actually exceed the capacity of the amphitheater area, so that's why we're putting it in that location.
Awesome.
Other question?
Keith was asking if construction will impact that. I mean, depends how quickly we get started, but
Okay.
on our new city hall.
Have to be flexible.
Yeah.
All right, any questions or discussion about these festival zones? If there are none, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And motion carries unanimously.
Thank you all.
Lily. Mr. Lovell, we've got a series of first reading of ordinances. Mr. Lovell, you have the first one, please.
Yes, Mayor, as I previously discussed with y'all, the city currently has an ordinance when an individual has a second, third, or fourth or greater speeding violation within 5 years, there's a surcharge going on it. We have, through city court, been seeing an increase in these, and so the judge has recommended that we increase this amount of the surcharge. And this ordinance is recommended by the court staff for your approval and also the police departments. On a second offense, the surcharge would be $100. On a third offense, $250. And on a fourth or greater offense, a $500 surcharge.
Okay. Hopefully that's a deterrent.
It would be a deterrent to me.
All right, any questions or discussion on this ordinance? All right, we'll take this up for final consideration at our meeting on March 21st. And Mr. Dixon, if you'll come forward, and I know you've got a series of 5 adjustments to the gas rate ordinance, and you got 5 different amendments to that. If you'll go over those for council, please.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor and Council. In reviewing our interruptible gas rates, we noticed that the purchase gas cost 3 rate rider adjustment of 4% was not consistent with the other purchase gas cost rate rider adjustments that are 7%. Therefore, I recommend adjusting the purchase gas cost 3 rate rider to be 7% to be consistent with the other PGCs in the rates. I also recommend to increase the capital improvement charge. That helps to fund our gas infrastructure from 22.8 cents to 26 cents per decatherm, and to update some definitions and miscellaneous service charges in these ordinances. These changes will not affect residential customers. They will only affect interruptible customers. Council's approval of these amendments is recommended.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from council about the changes on any of these 5 ordinances? Thank you. And just for the record, it's the gas rate ordinance amendment section 24-231, 24-233, I should put my glasses on, 24-224, 24-225, and 24-226. And again, these are the first reading of ordinances, and we'll take these up for final consideration at our meeting on March the 21st. Thank you, sir. You've got the next item as well.
Yes, sir. This asset management service will provide real-time information for gas system vehicles. It tracks vehicle location, driver behavior, maintenance intervals, and fuel usage. This service will also aid in lowering response times to gas leak calls by determining the closest asset that's able to respond. This service is offered by Verizon Connect and requires a 1-year contract with an annual cost of $5,685. This is a budget item, and council's approval to enter into this contract is recommended.
Thank you. Questions for Michael on this item? If there are none, a motion is in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. The motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Mr. Foy, you are up next with the next several.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have a construction agreement from CSX Transportation Incorporated to provide labor, materials, technical assistance, and approval necessary from CSX Transportation to establish quiet zone at Carter Street, Cherokee Avenue, Main Street, Leak Street, and West Avenue railroad crossings. Improvements to the crossing gate arms have already been made at Main Street crossing to help to establish this quiet zone. The total of this agreement from CSX Transportation is $1,828,001. This is budgeted item that we paid for by the 2020 SPLOST. Public Works recommends approval for this agreement.
Mayor and council, this has obviously been a long time in the process. So hopefully they will continue on with their time frame, which is first quarter of 2025, to do the construction and completion of that installation of those.
The ball's moving forward. We've got it funded, and now we, again, continue to try to keep the ball in their court, so CSX has what they got from us when they need it. So,
yes, sir.
Thank you. If there's any other discussion, we can have that now. If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Adairsville Street Sweeping Intergovernmental Agreement.
Yes, sir. For this one, we have an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Adairsville that allows for the city of Cartersville Public Works to perform street sweeping of approximately 28 lane miles of GDOT routes within the corporate limits of the city of Adairsville once every 4 months. The city of Adairsville has agreed to reimburse the city of Cartersville for our costs, which are outlined in the agreement. Public Works recommends approval of this intergovernmental agreement, pending the approval of this intergovernmental agreement by the city of Adairsville on March 7th, 2024.
Okay. I've never seen that thing driving without all the brushes and everything working. Does it go like a normal road speed, or is it going to take y'all half a day to get up there to Adairsville?
We have a certain number of hours. Yeah, it can go close. I mean, it can go normal speed when the brushes aren't running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Then it was gonna be like one of those tractors heading up 41 at 5 o'clock on the afternoon.
No, sir.
Very good. All right. If there are any intelligent questions, now would be a time to have one. If there's not, a motion would be in order.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Next item, please.
Okay.
Stephen.
Yes, sir. This is for a supplemental agreement for the Grassdale Road Sidewalks project. City of Cartersville has a supplemental agreement from Southeastern Engineering for them to assemble all necessary contract documents required to advertise and successfully award the project to construction. There has been $3,506,749 approved for the construction and $190,105 for the project associated utility work through the Transportation Alternatives Program grant, or TAP grant. That $190,105 is the same as the amount that was in the supplemental agreement number 2. So that's just worth noting. We have been able to secure that. The total of the agreement we have now from Southeastern Engineering is $7,500. This is a non-budget item that we paid for by SPLOST and split between Bartow County and the City of Cartersville. Public Works recommends approval of this agreement.
Just in layman's term, basically what Stephen's saying is that basically he's been working to get GDOT and they're paying for this. We were initially going to have to pay about 20% split between city and county local match. So 7,500 split is a whole lot cheaper than 3.5 million, 20%.
Yes, sir.
And you know, the other thing, we've called it the Grassdale Road Sidewalk Project from the beginning. The truth of the matter is there's going to be a number of other improvements along that road, including some significant safety ones, putting a curb on that as well. So,
Yes, sir.
so thank you. All right, Chair will entertain a motion for the supplemental agreement.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Continue on, please.
Okay. The next item is for commercial dumpster purchase. Solid Waste Division, Public Works received 3 quotes from various solid waste vendors for commercial dumpsters ranging from 4-yard size to 8 yards in size. The lowest price for equivalent quantities was from Lewis Steelworks out of Wren, Georgia. The amount, including shipping, is $26,940 for these dumpsters. This is a budget item, and Public Works recommends approval to purchase these dumpsters from Lewis Steelworks.
Very good. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Half-ton pickup.
Yes, sir. Solid Waste Division of Public Works received 3 sealed bids for a half-ton extended cab pickup truck to replace an existing pickup truck. The lowest, most complete bid is from Prater Ford out of Calhoun, Georgia, for an amount of $45,411. This is a budget item. Public Works and City Garage recommend approval to purchase this half-ton pickup truck from Prater Ford.
Very good. Questions, comments, or motions?
Make a motion to approve the purchase from Prater Ford.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Stephen. Mr. Porter, you've got the next batch here.
Yes, sir. Travelers Fiduciary Insurance Policy Renewals, annual renewal of this policy at $11,891, recommended for your approval.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
The next one is with a Travelers Auto Insurance deductible invoice. We had an employee involved in an accident in July 2023, and we have to pay a $25,000 insurance deductible, recommended your approval.
Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Road and plumbing, roof and plumbing repairs from storm damage.
Yes, sir. Last month, we had some storm damage come through at our fiber and garage building. Total cost of repairs with the gas, with plumbing and for the natural gas line and all was $53,662.21. Our portion after we get an insurance reimbursement is going to be $10,000, and recommended this for your approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Chief Carter, you're up, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Pleased to let you know that your 3 newest pieces of equipment should be arriving within our city last part of April. It's in the final stages of construction now. These 2 items I have for you tonight, some of the final pieces of equipment for those new apparatus that's coming in the city. This first is for you is the rope rescue equipment that will be for the new fire trucks. We sought quotes. The lowest quote or bid was from Elevated Safety at a cost of $24,897.28. This is within the budgeted amount. It's a capital project from fiscal year 23-24. We paid for through the general fund and reimbursed through 2020 SPLOST as funds become available.
Thank you. Questions for the chief? If not, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve the purchase
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
This next piece of equipment is what we call Paratech Heavy Rescue Stabilization Kit. This is what we actually use to stabilize the larger vehicles and also used during confined space rescue. A lot of work on the interstate with these. This will be located on the new squad. This particular piece of equipment is $42,697.79 coming from Paratech. This is a budgeted item, it is within our budget, and once again, it is coming from the 2020 SPLOST when funds become available through the general fund.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Forsyth, you're up next.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. The first item is a cloud-based monitoring and control system for our 4 remote sewer lift stations. This is by the pump station manufacturer, Xylem Water Solutions, for $57,204. This is a budgeted capital expense. Recommended for your approval.
Thank you. Questions for Sydney on this item? If there are none, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Continue on, please.
Yes, sir. At one of those lift stations, we have a pump that has failed. We received quotes from the manufacturer for a repair and rehab of the pump and a brand new replacement pump. The rehab cost is $16,910.56, which includes a 90-day parts and labor warranty. The new replacement pump costs $22,888 and carries a 1-year warranty. This is a budgeted expense that I recommend for your approval.
Thank you. Questions for Sydney on this item? If there are none, a motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of the new pump.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Sydney. Mr. Roberts.
Good afternoon. Parks and Recreation is requesting approval to purchase a 14-foot dump bed trailer. The trailer will increase our maintenance division's efficiency by not requiring the dump truck for every cleanup, as it does not require the CDL to pull. Georgia Trailer Outlet out of Cartersville has provided the lowest and best quote of $10,195. Approval for this budget is recommended. Or budgeted item, this is a budgeted item, sorry.
Okay. Questions for Steve on this? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Parks and Rec is seeking approval for CPL to inspect all the bridges along the trails for structural deficiencies. CPL quoted $5,500 for the service. The scope of work consists of conducting a non-destructive visual assessments and preparing a conditional appraisal report for each. The reports will have structural descriptions, photographs, and written summaries with recommended repair methods. This would not include restoration plans and specifications. The request is not budgeted, however, funds are available and it would be recommended for approval.
Okay, thank you. Questions? If not, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Tennessee Street Recreation Center design.
So the Parks and Recreation Department is seeking approval for Crofton Associates to provide architectural and engineering services for the Recreation Center on Tennessee Street. The center will consist of 52,000 square foot with 3 gymnasiums, gymnastics centers, walking track, and fitness rooms. Scope of work includes programmatic concept designs, schematic design, design development, construction documents, construction administration, and Seymour selection assistance. The total cost of these services will be $1.448 million. This is a budgeted request paid out of the 2020 SPLOST and is recommended for approval.
Okay. Questions on this item?
I just have one comment. I am very grateful that this is on the agenda. I say it every time we talk about this, and until I'm not sitting here anymore, I'm gonna make reference to it. To have this coming on the north end of town is going to be absolutely wonderful. So thank everyone for your input, and I look forward to seeing it happen.
Me too.
We, as I shared in the work session, we're tending to break ground in November of this year, and completion is anticipated in November of next year.
Wonderful.
Yep.
And with that, motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir. Well, Mr. Porter, you've got the next one.
Yes, sir. Mayor, as discussed in visioning and in the work session, this is again for architectural engineering services for a new city hall at our 19 North Irwin Street, adjacent to us. That was the old city hall one time and an old fire station for many years. Again, we're looking at a 3-story building here, about 15,000 square feet. I recommend approval to hire Croft Associates for a similar type of work as Steve just mentioned for the Parks and Rec building. Work hand in hand with the mayor and council to show what we're going to look at, what the exterior and interior look of that building would be. Obviously, it would be the new city hall and be new city council chambers, municipal court, bring the state-of-art features that we need to have. Do recommend your approval of this at a cost just under $500,000 for these services.
And I'll just add, I mean, just to add a little context to this, this is a big swing, and it's been considered for a long time by this council. And, you know, we've looked at doing different things to try to preserve and save the building next door. At the end of the day, not to speak for council, but I think consensus is we could spend an awful lot of money on a building that would have very little function and benefit to the taxpayer. This concept of building a 3-story building on that site and building it the size we need to get the city into the future and to get, again, this, of all the things on this, the addition of a city council chamber is not the purpose of that building. Yes, we'll get that, but it's really because it's more so for the city courts and to have a more streamlined operation. To have a single point of entry will be great for building safety, for people that need to come to the city to sign up for services or for whatever reason will have a better point of access and a direction to where they need to go. It's not a decision I think that any of us take lightly, but this is what we feel is best for the city, and so I'm excited to move forward into this project. It's a big project, and excited about it. So that being said, are there any other comments or questions? And if there are none, a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Bagley, you have got the next 3, 2 on the agenda, and the first of those 6 added items. Actually, you've got 4 items, pardon me.
Yeah, yes, sir. So the first one is the amendment to the service agreement with Polco. So this is regarding the citizen survey. The original agreement was effective February 2nd, 2023 through January 31st, 2024. The proposed amendment will extend our agreement by 12 months so that we can complete the citizen survey this year.
Okay. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And then the next one is the surplus equipment. This is a list of vehicles and equipment deemed as surplus by our departments. We're requesting approval of this surplus to authorize the listing of these items for sale on GovDeals.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions on this item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Second, third, fourth. All right, so the first of the added items to the agenda, the first one is Civic Plus website migration.
Yes, sir. This is for migration of our website to Civic Plus's Civic Engage Central platform. Our current site's CMS, the back end is going to be no longer supported soon this year. So while migrating to the new CMS, we'd like to upgrade to their more advanced platform and also rebuild the site at the same time to apply the new branding. This will give us a much greater level of customization and functionality to the site. The upfront cost is $27,112 with a recurring annual cost of $5,319 moving forward.
Okay, any discussion on this item? If not, then motion's in order.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Now you have the first reading of an ordinance regarding the city logo?
City seal, yes, sir.
Seal, excuse me.
Yes, so this ordinance revision modifies the language describing the appearance of the city's corporate seal to match the design of the seal in our new city branding system.
Okay, any questions on this item? Again, it is the first reading of an ordinance. We'll take it up on March 21st at our next meeting. Thank you, Mr. Bagley.
Thank you.
Mr. Lovell, you have the final four.
Yes, Mayor. The first one is a resolution denying a automobile accident claim from a Denitra Harris. And based upon an anti-litem notice she provided to the city, and to turn this matter over to our insurers. It is recommended by staff for your approval.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, please, Keith.
The next one is also a resolution denying an anti-litem claim by Lasagna Walters involving a automobile accident with the city. And it is recommended y'all deny this claim and turn the matter over to our insurers. It is recommended by staff for your approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments, or motions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, please.
Next one is the city has a sewer system improvement in the Waterford subdivision. The last parcel involved in this is 475 Waterford Drive. Council had earlier approved potentially filing condemnation on this. After we got an appraisal and submitted that to the property owner, he agreed to take that amount instead of his previous demand, which was basically double that appraised amount. That amount is $21,619. It is recommended by staff for your approval. Closing on this will happen within the next 2 weeks.
Thank you. Questions, discussion? If not, a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. If you need to get that, we can wait.
That was an alarm, I'm so sorry.
Final item, please, Keith.
The next one, as y'all are all aware, the city of Cartersville auctioned off, had an auction or solicited an RFP for the property at 178 West Main Street. And the winner of that has finally is ready to close. It's been a while, so I'm recommending y'all authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign all the closing documents between the city of Cartersville and City Overlook LLC.
Okay. Any discussion? If there's none, a motion is in order.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. That's everything on the agenda. Is there anything else that needs to come before council tonight? If you would, step forward, your name and your address, please, for our clerk.
Sure. It's 18 Burke, Hickory Connector, Southwest in Cartersville, Georgia. I want to talk about a very important thing in the homeless community. I talked to Doug, and we had a meeting where I live in my apartment, and he discussed to me the lack or not enough funding for the homeless community. Back in 2020, there was a study around 10,000 people that are homeless here in Georgia. So it's probably a lot more. But I believe if we're gonna bring more tax revenue, if we're gonna give people a hand up and not a hand out, especially the people that are really struggling in this community, you know, they cannot afford $1,500 for a upscale apartment. I live in a beautiful apartment. I'm very fortunate, lucky to have a place to live. Where I just asked for a few extra minutes. Where my hometown was is back in upstate New York. A place where I've seen homeless people, the people of the homeless community, all around me. And back in upstate New York, they were neglected. They looked down upon the culture in the United States of America. And if we're going to have all these projects going on, let's first look at the outcasts, the people that walk past them and don't consider them human beings. I talked to Doug and had a very awesome conversation with that gentleman, the director of the homeless shelter. And like I said, he mentioned to me that he's not getting enough funding. And also the people that cannot work, that have disabilities or have issues. And my idea with Doug was maybe building or funding a senior community center for the individuals that cannot work, for the people that don't have much to do. When you don't exercise your brain over a period of time, like your muscles, they give out on you. I believe everyone is important wherever they live, whether they have a home or they don't. I'm very fortunate to have what I have in my life. John 3:16, a wonderful verse. The grace of God, for whosoever believes in him, on him, should not perish but have everlasting life. So not only do we educate the homeless people, the homeless community, we inspire faith. We inspire them to help pick themselves up. Most of those individuals are ex-military. A lot of those individuals come from broken homes and just lost family. The thing I worry about, my wife is from Indonesia. She's the best part about me because she puts up with me. But she has a heart like I do. She doesn't want to see anyone sick or broken or doesn't have a home to live in. And for me, it's a blessing. If I'm very fortunate to have what I have in my life, why can't the homeless community have the same thing, the people of the homeless community? I believe that Georgia has a lot of this money surplus. Let's take some of that money and fund it to the homeless shelter and call Doug up as a director and say, hey, we want to help more. We got to do more in this community for the people of the homeless community. It's not enough just to give them a little money. It's not just say, we care about you. Back home in my church, I tried to start a community connection call where we call people up once a week or twice a week. And we ask them, how are you doing? I care about you. I want to know if you're still alive. I want to know how you really are doing, because I could be in the same situation. Any of us can. Money's not guaranteeing another day in our life is. We live each and every day like it's our last day on the face of this earth. And I believe the people of the homeless community, like I said, needs more. They need more of a hand up. And we talked about a lot, Doug, very nice guy. And I will be meeting him next week and being a part and what I can do as an outsider to help fix a broken system. We live in a broken system. Not always does money fix the situations outside. The drug abuse, the homeless crisis, the drugs, and the violence. And I firmly believe that we need to deal with everything a human being struggles with. You know, a lot of people talk about gun violence, but I firmly believe it's violence inside someone's heart first. If they don't understand how to deal with their anger, it's going to be brought on the outside. And they'll use any means to hurt someone else. Sometimes they don't know why they're doing it. But we got to give them some answers. We got to give them some help. So I would ask you, city council members, let's fund the homeless shelter. Let's put more money in this situation of 10 to 12,000 people that are homeless in this community, in this city, or in this state. Because if we don't, we failed them. We don't need to fail the people of the homeless community. We need to do more. Stand up for them. Be by their side. And say, we're going to help you find affordable housing. Because $1,000 for their budget, as I was talking to Doug, is too much. Even tiny homes, to build more tiny homes. I've been to many countries, city council members. I've been to Peru, Philippines, Israel. I spent a day in China. Been to Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. And what I realized about those states, those countries, they're poor. But what they care about is more than money, is family. They are family. If they don't got family, they don't got a darn thing in their life. So we gotta bring them back, the people, the homeless community, and restore, fix their broken families, and accept them, give them a hand up and a hand out. So I hope I can work with you to not have one homeless, people, the homeless community on these streets. Let's find each person a home and a place of peace and safety that they can call their place a home. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sir, can you please give me your name?
Jason.
Last name?
Trailer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any other business that needs to come before council? Okay. If there's none, any announcements? Other than Cartersville Little League is this Saturday. They've moved it to First Baptist Church because the weather's not cooperating. So, but, hey, that's just one day. Be clear enough and they'll be playing ball before you know it, so.
Spring forward on Sunday.
That's right. Thank you.
We're ready for spring. So ready.
Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Stay gold.